Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Lights Out Lee Racing Season 30, Race 3 at Silverstone. And again, like Div 1, it's a very wet Silverstone. It's wetter than the Thai Women's ping pong team. They have to lube up somehow. And after some fantastic action in the Div 1 race, I'm sure with the variable weather conditions, which is known for custom weather setups, is that it's going to mix up the order. And what an order we've got. 20 drives on the grid once again. A couple of reserves, but one or two drivers looking to put their stamp on the season. Another driver that puts their stamp on the season was Jax Daniels. Good evening, Jax. How are you, my friend?
Good evening, and thank you for having me back.
It was absolute pleasure last week, and I think the crowd loved it. So, what better way to have a Div 2 race? Yes, I spazzed out for a second. What better way to have a Div 2 race than have your eyes watching every bit of action and keeping me awake? Howard, how did you find the Div 1 race?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was saying wet, dry, wet, but in the end the wet only came on the last lap, so everyone was surprised by that. And if someone picked the strategy right, they benefit in the end. Unless you have to pit twice, then you lose a lot of time here around Silverstone.
Well, yeah, your former teammate did so, didn't he? He pitted at the right time, chose the correct tyres, and got himself back on the top step again. You did well. You got congratulations on your first podium of the season, first full podium and platinum.
Thank you. Yeah, I was surprised I got it because I was down in the bottom, and I was thinking only chance is to go last, and I think I was last going over the line, and in the end it was then the perfect track conditions to snag the pole position.
Yeah, that was an absolute screaming lap. I can imagine Terry's screaming in the chat. It was phenomenal right at the end. But what we'll do is we'll do a hot lap here with Kessler, as he does the first one of qualifying session in wet conditions once again. So it means he won't be flat out round Abbey. You have to be careful of those curbs. You saw one or two drivers lose their back end as we approach Village. Hard braking zone, touch the apex. A slow part of the circuit as we hit the slowest part of the track, round loop. Foot to the floor, fling it round Aintree, down the Wellington Straight. We're in dry conditions. We will see the DRS active. A very good opportunity for an overtake around a very difficult corner of Brooklands, where you want to trail brake into the corner. Just clip the apex, and then you've got to rotate your car round through Luffield, a long sweeping right-hander. Foot to the floor as we approach Woodcote, and up to the very quick, very ominous Cops Corner, where it does have a big run-off area, but it doesn't stop you losing control of your car. Kessler does well to keep it within the white lines, approaching the famous Maggots and Beckett's, sweeping left-right S-bends, where you have to have good rhythm, go offline and your lap is ruined. Throw your car around out through Chapel, down the Hanger Straight, named after, of course, because this used to be an airfield, and where the hangars used to be. Funny how they name things. Round Stowe, it seems like it's never ending. Round the final couple of corners of Vale and Club, where it's a very slow, intricate part of the circuit. Rides the inside of turn 17, and then it's flat out round the final corner. Keep it within the white lines. 1:48, not first bad lap there from the Red Bull driver. I think it took a while for a lot of drivers in Div 1 to get to that time, to be fair. So, good first final lap from the Red Bull. Who do you have your eye on this week, Jax? Jax has died. So, Sedders takes provisional pole with a 40.2. Eclipse by Regan McKinnon.
Did you get my message?
Something about voice. Something. I did. Yeah, maybe do a bit more to the voice side. Okay. Who have we got? Ferrari of Thomas. Reserving for Lennon this week. So it's a Lights Out League race debut. Danny Dine struggling with traction out of Aintree on his first I think he's on a warm down lap, so hopefully he's got no damage. He's already set a lap. Ricciardo Milos currently P4. Not bad for his first lap. The Sauber's doing well in Div 1. Kieser P4 in the Aston. You'll be keeping an eye on them, I'm sure. Kieser getting his first P3 podium for professional tier last week. Clen P3 back with a bang as him and Chessbowl first races of the season, and both will have beady eyes on, see what they can do. Chessbowl promoted from the challenger tier, Clen relegated from the elite tier as Terry's jumped in P4, got pole on the first race. But didn't have the best week in Miami last week. And one person to keep an eye on is Benji, of course. Dominant last week in Miami, taking both poles and race wins as Regan McKinnon gives him a slap 137.9. It looks like the rain's stopping here. So do we look like we're going to go into dry conditions, I wonder? I don't know what Benji's doing. I don't think whoever he's just absolutely nearly demolished would appreciate that.
Right, I think the rain stopped, so everything will be reset now, and we will see the first runners on softs, I think.
Okay, yeah, the rain has stopped. So we'll probably give it a couple of minutes while the track just dries up a bit. Well, it needs drivers on the track to actually help it dry. Geezer still doing laps on those inters, 39.3 up to P5. And like you said, if drivers coming out on some fresh slick tyres, these times will get chopped in half. Benji and Danny both coming out on softs. We've got some out laps for the William boys on inters still. Benji diving straight back in. Magel going for a lap, so interesting call from the Williams. Who have you got your eye on this week, Jax?
I think all eyes are again on Benji because he won 3 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, and he's looking strong again today. I mean, field is still mixed up, which makes it quite interesting, and we see who will put in the best lap in the next 10 minutes.
There's one or two staking their claim. Regan McKinnon is in quite a few pole laps here at the moment on these inters, so he's just making use of these tyres before pitting, and DRS is enabled, so that gives us the indication that it's potentially a slick run now.
Yeah, it seems he's very comfortable on the reds. Let's see if he's also comfortable on the dry.
Chessbowl, first outing for Red Bull, still in the pits, just waiting for his moment. Won the challenge. Yeah, go on.
I was thinking maybe he's thinking I don't bother with the rain, it's dry anyway, so let's just wait and save myself some interest for the race.
Yeah, it makes sense. They might not need inters. Do you know something I don't?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't saw the weather prediction for the forecast.
Okay. Good. Me neither. No, me neither. It's all surprising.
Interesting.
Geezer running P2, good qualifying lap from the Aston, and he seems to be getting better and better as every race goes by. Has Magel on those inters still, 36 flat. Flying lap there from the challenger competitor. And it's not often you see the Williams driver at the top of the spear. Well, we've got some soft runners now doing a hot lap. As Benji's just started. What's Danny Dine doing? He's behind, so keep an eye on Benji then. This will give us a good indication of what these soft tyres are doing.
I mean, time is slowly dripping down. We're now at 8 minutes, halfway point, and no quickest lap on a dry tire yet.
3 seconds up on the first sector, Benji. So these soft tyres are definitely the way to go.
He has a good chance to be on pole, at least for a brief moment.
Yes. Well, I can imagine Magel is screenshotting this, and then they'll just like hover out, just cover the time or something, just to have that moment in the spotlight. We've also got another debutant this week, Jeffrey Nasty. He's nasty. Reserving in the Haas for Big Josh. He's unfortunately not with us this week. Kessler still. Magel, another fastest lap. He's got another one. But Benji is flying on these soft tyres. He's going to be in the 120s. 127 maybe. 127.7. So there's a marker there for Benji. Danny Dine coming in with a 29.7. Soft tyres are the way to go. These ons on the inters will need to pit. Who's next across the line?
Now it really comes down to the time management, not tire management, because 6 minutes to go, and Silverstone has a huge pit lane, and coming around is also not time saving here. So I think maybe we see one or two, no, maximum one lap for Benji.
Gunnar on pole ahead of Benji, 27.2. So they've got enough time to go back in and out. So it's probably about 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes to for a whole out lap and in lap. Benja, Williams having their time at the top in this qualifying session, and as each lap goes by, the track temperature will be heating up. So I think it's going to be one of those things, the last person to cross the line potentially could be the quickest, like we found with you in Div 1. Great lap from the Williams driver.
We didn't talk about Terry's today. Where is he?
Terry's is P14 currently. So
that's not a usual environment for Terry's Reds.
No, he's yet to do a quali on the soft, so I'm sure he'll be there. As we see Thomas P5 and Danny up to P4. Back-to-back podiums in the Challenger Championship as Dan Morris takes provisional pole, 26.9. We've got Dustarino, is it next? Dustarino P5, 27.8.
Was it Benji or Benja who won 3 in a row? I think it was Benja, no?
Benji got the race wins last week. Benji, yeah. I don't know.
It's not difficult.
There's too many
Everyone
of them.
has the same names here.
If your name's Ben, you can join. Benchard crossing the
Benji
line.
Boy. Okay.
In the Mercedes back after missing last week. Goes P6, won the Challenger. P1 as Sedders in the other Mercedes. 26.7. These times are dropping. Who's your money on for pole? I tell you, I'm not a betting man. Well, I am. I'm just not going to waste my money because I have no idea who's going to take it. There's those that have just done a lap going into the pits, get some fresh tyres on. I think Keys is on a hot lap.
I think who's on pole, I don't know. I would take a guess and would be wrong like in my math test, as always.
So Keys are 7.5 seconds up. Put him at 29.4. So he's got a final sector to navigate through. Can Keys get himself on pole? Will he have enough time to go in and get some new tyres on to do a final run? Front row for Keyser, 26.8. Just over a tenth behind Sedders. Everyone now
Kieser is a sleeper in this race again. Like last week in Miami, he did very well until he made a very questionable strategy decision, but he still got good points in the end.
You always find that, I think, because you're going with an initial strategy, and then you've just got to play to the track conditions, track environment, the track action. You could say I'm going to pit lap 10, but then a safety car comes out and you go pit lap 6. Things go out the window. But no, it's how you play those conditions. You get rewarded if you make the right calls. So everyone's starting, I think, their final flying lap now. Let's just see who's ahead. I think Magel is ahead. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on Magel and see how he gets on. Currently P13.
He's 2.5 seconds up.
Which is big gains. He hasn't set a lap on softs yet. Oh! Managed to keep hold of the car, but that would cost him a few tenths, especially around a speedy corner like Copse. As he approaches the end of Sector 2, he'll still benefit, but he won't maximise his lap. 5.1 seconds up as Keys has retired. He hasn't got enough time, so he's messed up his time strategy, like you suggested. So he won't. The highest he'll start is P2.
Still 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. And I'm wondering if the McLaren of, is it Glenn, will make it. Oh no, he's not on an outlap.
P10 for Magel. He's not going to improve from that position. As Danny Dine crosses the line, we'll start behind Magel, then P11. For now, we've got an Aston doing an out lap. Who've we got on a hot lap?
I think Regan played it right, and he will be the last over the line.
I think Sygate's the next one. No, first lap for Jeffrey Nasty. Nasty goes P6. So great flying lap. Will start behind his teammate, but it was his only hot lap of the session, and currently runs P6. Can he keep hold of that position? Sygate P8.
And Dan Cerrito played McKinnon and is last over the line. Is he trying to get a slipstream maybe? Or will he be blocked in the end? I don't know, but let's see how he goes along.
Well, let's keep an eye on Chessbowl. He's one to watch for this season. Cross the line, goes wide. Oh, he looked like he's gone wide. But his highest will start is P14. Bench shot P10.
Terry's crossing the line.
Terry's front row. Front row for Terry's. And look how close that is between him and Sedders. Glenn, though, will start P19. One of the favourites. We've got Danny next, coming around the final couple of corners. Currently P12. Not anymore, P7 for the Aston. Benji, who's almost a second up on his time, will only start P3.
That's very close at the top.
Big. Ricky Artemilos will start behind his teammate P12. We've got Red Bull of Kessler next, who's had a good qualifying P9. I think he'll be happy with that.
Gunnar is improving.
Thomas hasn't and will start at P17. We'll jump back on with Gunnar.
And Gunnar,
pole for Gunnar! 26.6! Out of nowhere, as Regan McKinnon P7. You kept your eye on him. And he pulled that one out of the bag. Dustarino P9, so Sygate's done. So that's the first pole of the season for Gunnar and first pole for Lights Out League Racing for the Haas. Incredible job. Nah, I didn't. See what I mean? I didn't have my money on Gunnar.
Me neither. So GG's to Gunnar. I
Yeah.
think this was a great lap. Over 1/10 quicker than the rest, and also our current leader of the league, Benji, who's only starting 4th.
And if you look at the times, there's less than was that 4 tenths between the top 8. which is incredible.
I think everyone's sweating Silverstone on this game.
We'll just wait for the final car of Seigate to get himself into the pits. The lead McLaren driver as Clen's starting from the rear. Gunnar said he pulled that straight from his arse. Well, he must have a big hand. As Gunnar takes pole with a 26.6, Sedders will join him on the front row. Terry Redd's P3 ahead of his championship rival Benji P4. Keyser and Dan Morris on row 3. Regan McKinnon and Benja row 4 with Dunsterino and Danny rounding off the top 10. That is a pole for... Is it for Gunnar? I don't know. I can't remember. Kessler, Jeffrey 12th. Seigate 13th. Ricciardo 14th. Benchard 15th. Magel and Danny down side by side on row... Thomas 18th, Chespo 19th, and Clen P20. Got my words muddled. I was just trying to have a look to see who got pole for the Challenger, but that was Gunnar. So the actual pole goes to Sedders for the professional tier. It's not often we have the bottom tier getting pole, so it's an incredible job by Gunnar. Don Serino's got a fan club in the chat. You got Brandon and Johnny now singing a chant. And it looks like it's going to be a dry start to the race, although it looks slightly overcast.
Now, I don't know the weather forecast, but I see some drivers already complaining in the chat about the setup. So maybe someone caught it right and did a wet setup here, but it seems dry at the start.
It is dry, and the majority of drivers starting on the hard, so it gives us an interesting indication of when potentially there may be some wet weather, if there is coming. I don't know, but there's 3 drivers on the mediums: Sedders, Benji, and Seigate. So somebody's readied up too early. I was going to say that drivers will be sorting out their strategies, but somebody will be getting an absolute spanking. Newcastle 3-0 against PSV.
Interesting. Setters on the mediums, also Benji. We don't know when the rain will hit. It looks pretty cloudy, so interesting to see if the rain comes pretty quick or the hard runners will benefit here.
Well, we did see that the medium tyres only lasted about 8 laps, but how eagle-eyed are you? Because I can see some drops of rain already.
That's true.
So we'll only see a couple of
drops,
laps. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Gunnar's leading us rounds. This is a very historical circuit, known for many evolutions over its time. 1973 GP was a significant one in Silverstone history, where Jody Schleckler at the end of the first lap lost his McLaren at Woodcote, hitting the pit wall, caused a mass pile up, and then health and safety had to prevail, and there's many changes. Luffield used to be the end of the circuit, which is now, of course, Club and Vale.
Gunnar getting nervous here on the formation lap.
He is, and he's going to be slotting into his grid box. It's been a long way round, 5.8 kilometre clockwise circuit, 18 corners. We've just come around the last one, 10 to the right, 8 to the left. No, wrong one. 10 to the right, 8 to the left. 2 DRS zones. And it's only a short run down from pole to turn 1 braking point, 239 metres. So he's not going to have much time to defend. Sedders will look to try and get a good launch off the line. But there is some drops of rain. This could make an interesting first couple of laps. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're waiting for the lights to go out. It is now. And we're away for Div 2 in Silverstone. Sedders has already got ahead of Gunnar, who struggled off the line, and has got Benji ahead of Terry's. Terry's had a really bad start. As Benji diving on the inside, trying to make early moves on Guna. And he's done so. Elbows out for the Alpine. Big moves at the back as Danny has had an incident with Jeffrey Nasty. And they're both down at the back of the order. Don Storino and Saigate and Ricciardo Milos just playing to and fro out of Aintree. Terry's and Regan McKinnon exchanging positions. Terry's now down to P6.
We see both medium drivers already benefiting at the top, and the hard runners are slotting behind. Only Terry's lost here 3 positions. Maybe another nervous start. We see him regularly driving very slow at the start, but he will catch up in the race, I'm sure.
Well, Saigate trying to make moves on Chessbowl on the outside of Copse, obviously on the better tyre, but went really deep and lost out to his teammate. Glenn, who's had a good start now up to P13 from the back. Dan Morris making a good stride on Guna. And up to P3.
Oh, and then ATM has dropped 10 places.
I think he had the potential incident with Jeffrey Nasty, both losing plenty of positions. Sedders in the lead of the race then from the launch off the line. And the front two have broken away those medium tyres. Like you said, they've got to take advantage of them. And when will this rain come, if it does?
It will be interesting to see who will pull the trigger first and drop for inters, or is it just a big surprise and it's just a little bit of drops and it goes sunny for the rest of the race. I don't know.
Well, Amazon Race Strategy has said that it's a dry strategy. No inters appearing. Ricciardo Milos ahead of Kessler up to P9 for the Sauber. As we see Saigate and Benchard, challenger competitors, side by side approaching Copse. Who's going to be brave? Who dares wins? And Saigate stays ahead. Benchard drops behind.
We see they're both Red Bulls at P11, P12. Jasper making quick progress in the race, already up 7 positions, and McLaren of Glen 14 as well.
Will Chessbowl play the team game, let him past? Chessbowl has better straight line speed down the hanger, but Kessler's hanging on the outside, leaving each other plenty of room. Lots of respect, but he's opened the door for Glenn to go through. We got a yellow flag against Regan McKinnon.
There was small contact between Kessler and Glenn. I don't know who went off.
Looks like Glenn's missed out. He's down to P15. Potential contact with Regan as well, who's down to P16. He now full-time Visa car driver, joining Terry Reds, taking the place of English Monk, who's too busy at the monastery to join us. Ben Chod, bad traction out of loop. He went too deep and lost out a couple of positions, down to P16. Still quite close battles up and down the grid. Benji doing well in P7. I'm going to dub him Mr. Consistent, because he's always finds himself like that top 6 space, and he's doing well at P7. Glenn getting past Thomas, P13, and is chasing down his teammate. As we see raindrops on the screen.
Is the BR did it get a bit worse now?
It is getting a little bit worse. You can see there's no line on the track, which you normally get with dry conditions. Who's going to pull the trigger, like you said, as the front runners approach? So Sereno exchanging positions with his teammate Magle and Danny Dine, having a slap at the back. Magle taking advantage of a better straight line speed.
Who's in the pits? Someone in the pits?
Someone's in the pits.
It's Magle.
So Magle, he's pulling the trigger.
He's jumping the order, but it's just the piano opener trick.
Yeah. Scumbag trick, that is.
If we see this today. If somebody pulls off, they're playing.
You've got to be close battling, haven't you? No, so I don't know if I'd allow it. Like, it'd be an absolute scumbag move. So, on to the Inters for Magle. Let's see what he can do. Call to keep an eye on Dunserino, who's up ahead of his teammate. It's a great showing from the Challenger driver. Not leading the way in that tier at the moment, but he won his first Challenger race last week. And can he emulate that this week with a higher position? We shall see, but P8. Dan Morris, fine job at the moment, P3. Kind of snuck his way there. But doing a good show for Alpine. Cork in the bottle for this final podium position.
I'm checking now the lap times of Magel, if he improves or if these inters maybe was the wrong call or if he was in maybe 1 or 2 laps too early. We will see in Sector 2 if he actually can make these inters work.
Yeah, it's those fast corners where you'll see the time difference, but I can see just to and fro at the moment. Glenn and Sygate exchanging positions. Sygate's gone a bit deep after being a bit respectful to his teammate, and Regan takes advantage up to P13 as we see Benja, the other Williams, pitting then. So both Williams choosing to make the call, and with Magel, he's... Oh no, Danny Dine! Italian hand gesture. You've done it to yourself. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Magel setting a really slow Sector 2, so I think maybe he went in 1 lap too early and now is really hurting those inters in the long run.
Potentially. You never know if someone like a Jeffrey Nasty is just a slightly quicker driver anyway for Magel to get used to the enters. Benja might be the one to watch. See what his lap times are like as Terry's getting past Gunnar up to P4. Gunnar goes quite deep at Cops, and we'll have Giza trying to take advantage coming out of Chapel. I'll have the advantage of DRS. Both drivers will try and close that gap on Terry's.
DRS is still open, which means the Dries may be the slightest better tire now still. We will see when the top pack really pulls the trigger here now.
I think Benja's gained about 4/10 on Jeffrey Nasty, but he's not gaining a lot of speed. Is that Chespel? No, it's not. It was Kessler behind him. Kessler's pitting with Regan McKinnon as well, so 1 or 2 choosing to make the call. Ricciardo under threat from Chespel. Callum's wondering who will make the right call. Who will make the right call? There's a lot of drivers going in the pits now, so is now the time? Or is the question, are inters even needed? What do you reckon?
I don't see anyone doing quick laps right now, and I also see another problem at the top. So we have 2 Alpines running P2 and P3. Who will pit and who has to stay out in the end?
Both are different strategies. So if it's a dry run, then Dan will stay out longer anyway. But the front 2, there's a great battle between them. It'll be who pulls the trigger first out of them.
I only see that Benja's making quick inroads on Tomasz. He just gained 1 second. I don't know in which part of the track he is. Let me check really quick. It was end of Sector 1. And now we can see the difference in the Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, we've got 1 or 2 drivers jumping in the pits now. Yeah, Keys is in.
Keys are doing maybe a good call here.
Ricardo Milos is sped in the pit lane.
Italian hand gesture.
He's getting double hand gesture.
Is he Italian maybe?
Wow.
But Milos is maybe Croatian.
We must have many Italians on the grid in the Discord. It's just full of Italians. I tell you what though, Dan Morris has closed the gap on the front 2 now. And he's within that battle. Are those medium tyres wearing off? Because the hard tyre seems the better one.
Oh! Demos thinking, let me overtake my teammate because I want to pit first. And Terry's Red's back in the mix, just like I said, he's sleeping on the start, but wakes up right after lap 2.
Sleeping giant. Maybe the hard out the slicks, the hard tyre is the better tyre now. And now we've got a 4-car DRS disabled.
And I think we see now everyone jumping into the pits now that the DRS is disabled, which is usually the sign to finally pit.
Yes, we've had the call from, my name's Jeff. Dan Morris over the back of his teammate. Is he going to make a move? He's on the inside of Stowe. And Dan Morris up to P2. Benji will not be happy. I'll tell you what, he will not be happy. As they're both pitting. They're both pitting, and Dan Morris has done an absolute dirty.
Is he trying to overtake?
Oh no, that was absolute dirty move from Dan Morris. The front 5 are pitting. It looks like Benji's got just ahead, which yeah, I think karma has played its part there. I think if Chess Bowl's carried on. Interesting from Chess Bowl.
Chess Bowl thinking, let me get my first leading laps of the season, and here he has him.
Is he thinking that he can stay on the slicks? If everyone else is pitting, I would have pit. He's finding it a bit tricky coming out of loop.
But what happened here? Dan Morris ahead of Benji again.
Maybe the game's rewrited itself, but yeah, that was there was no team play there. That was elbows out from Dan Morris. And he's considering that he's a reserve driver, Benji will not be happy. Benji now down to P5. So I tell you who's gained. Geezer pitted a lap earlier, is now up to P2, and the leader of this train.
I think he's the net race leader with Chessbowl still to pit.
He is the net race leader. That's if Chessbowl decides to pit. Does Chessbowl think it's not going to rain enough? Guna going slightly off track, loses a couple of positions as Ricciardo and Regan go through. Kessler waiting with intent as well.
Setter's going a bit wide. Will be interesting to see if he picked up a warning here, and he didn't.
He's managed to stay within that DRS range if it becomes active again. Oh, he goes wide again though, coming out of Chapel. He's pushing hard.
Now it really becomes difficult to overtake, and interesting to see if Benji will be able to make an overtake on Dan Morris here.
Not yet. Stan's made it ahead through Stowe. Will Benji have a look on the inside? No.
And Benji also doing the 3-lap undercut rocketed him up to P6.
Well, net P5 because Chess Bowl's in the pits now. Dan Morris is probably deserved that for his antics. Gets himself a track limits. Terry Red's down to P6. Probably got caught in the...
Benji diving down the inside.
Alpine side by side. You don't see this normal in normal F1. They're normally broken down in the garage. Oh, as one touches the curb. Benji just slightly ahead. Dan Morris is on the inside, so Dan Morris riding the apex. Oh, they've come together. And that was bound to happen. Dan Morris got himself going again. And that's the slot behind Terry's.
Dan Morris is usually a very aggressive driver, and he really says, I have no friends on this grid, even my teammate. I don't give a flipping flamingo. I just want to race.
Yes. Those exact words. It's a big train down from Terry's in P5.
And Geezer and Setters are really making a small gap to P3 already.
I suppose that with that battle with Dan Morris, that's cost Benji a little bit of time. But he's shown he's had some great pace this season. We'll keep an eye on his pace as it's just approaching the 3-second mark. And Setters not managing to keep with Geezer as yet.
And Terry's in the hunt for the championship. Will he has to take out his binoculars again and see Benji run off in the distance?
Yeah. Typical Terry's. And Morris just holding off Regan McKinnon for now, just to get his head back in the game. I think that was potentially a racing incident from, I don't know what you saw, but it was just a coming together of wheels really. Normally in those incidents, the car on the inside isn't turning in enough. Everyone's just trying to force the outside driver. What's that guy doing? Who was that? Ricciardo Milos went really wide coming out of Aintree. He's cutting the grass. Goes back on Clem. Got himself sorted out again, running P12 after that incident on the first lap.
Nasty with another overtake.
Yeah, just finding his feet in the league, I guess. Good overtake, going a little deep at Luffield. Will open the door again for Danny to make a switch back, but both good launch out of the corner. Jeffrey Nasty retains P18. Thomas currently running P20, but he's just in this battle. Under 2 seconds now for Benji, followed by Benja. Benja's pointing at Benji. But he's doing well in P4 here. And if it was no, they're all professionals. Dunsterino and Clen on the inside. Oh, Vale. Quite well defended from Dunsterino.
I think they are all professionals.
I'd like to think so.
Or are they only Blazy boys?
That will never happen. I don't know if you know them, but there was this band in the noughties called Blazing Squad, and there was about 100 of them in it. There was like 20 chav kids just bloody singing. I think they had like one banger, but yeah. Dan Morris sticking with Regan McKinnon. Ricciardo's managed to drop them and join that battle with Benja. But you can see Benji is now almost within a second of the front two. I'm doing well.
I wish we could hear Jeff and ask about the weather.
My name's Jeff. It's raining. Yeah, he's let us know. A great race here from Benchard. Had a great race in the first one of the season.
Benji caught up to the top two and is maybe thinking himself, if you can figure out who's leading the race, then I take it. But I guess Kieser has a word or two and saying, I want to win.
Yeah, he's definitely going to drive with his elbows out. His teammate Danny just ahead at the start of Magan Beckett's, but brilliant, brave driving from both him and Thomas.
And Benja really playing the roadblock here for the top three?
Don't necessarily think that's his job, but it looks like he's used a lot of his ERS, so he's on a mad defence here. Probably doesn't have the pace of the cars behind. We've got Josh in the chat. So he's never thought he'd hear a Blazing Squad referencing commentary. Well, you're welcome, and I'll meet you at the crossroads. That's the Blazing Squad reference. Another one. Kessler putting pressure on Gunnar, who's found himself down in P9 now after being at the top. And I have a feeling those that don't have penalties, and I'll say, give them credit, to be fair, said they're all professionals. They got less penalties than the Div 1 boys.
Did they? I saw a few 10 seconds penalties in the Div 1 race. I don't know who it was. But
yeah, there was one or two people, I can't remember though. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Good.
No one lost out at all.
But actually, as I just want to say it, it's hard to get 3 seconds under rainy conditions, and then he collects another one. Or was it his first one?
Yes, as Thomas
it's his first one.
Yes, it's his first one. Thomas goes through as Danny's gone offline by going wide and getting that penalty. There's a good little battle here between the Ferrari and Aston. Thomas drifting round the start of Maggots. The other day I was taking a dog for a walk and I had to pick up his poo and I thought he had maggots in it. And then I realised that he had rice in his food earlier in the day. So I was like, thank goodness.
Thank you, Crofty.
It's all right, no worries. Sharing is caring. Regan and Ricciardo exchange positions coming through loop. Ricciardo with his nose ahead coming through Aintree. Oh, just right at the apex. Forces Regan wide. Didn't really have control of his car, the Sauber, but managed to keep it on the track. As Regan has a look on the inside, gets his wheels clipped. And was he left enough room from the Sauber? It is a red arrows rule. Discord. If he squeezed him, if it's reported, he may be in trouble. As we see Terry's just going wide out of Woodcote.
Terry's now with a big chance to finally make the overtake. If he can keep it close through these corners here.
Yeah, Benji looks like he's struggling. Obviously pit 3 laps earlier. We don't know how long these inter tyres will last, but I'm pretty sure no one will want to pit under these wet conditions unless it'll stay wet for the rest of the race, but who knows? I don't know. That front 3, as you were, still Keyser leading the way. Fine performance from the Aston Martin driver. And if there's one of a handful of drivers which have yet to got a race win that I really would give a round of applause and would like them to get one. And very consistent.
Benji now has enough. Oh, he collects Setters from the back. I thought he had enough of driving behind him because I think he will dream about CrowdStrike looking at his back all the race now.
Yeah, but no, Setters have had a fine ass. But yeah, Benji stuck behind. I think in the Div 1 race, I think there was an incident with Benji hitting the back of Katamise and caused him to almost spin. And then as he was driving past, as Katamise was spinning, he caught his front end, so re-righted him. But yeah, it wasn't great from Benji, just misjudged Katamise's braking point.
I mean, it's always hard to judge Katamise's braking point in a race, so...
Yes, and that's just judging whether he will brake or not. So this big train all the way down now to Benchard in 14th, this train behind Benja. As we see Gunnar and Kessler around Cops, both staying with the right lines. Brilliant driving. Oh, there's fine driving from Gunnar, who drifted round Cops on the outside of Kessler and has made the overtake stick. P9. Fine performance that. As Benchard was close to Chespo, were not able to make the move. Chespo taking a look at Clen. Up to P12. Clen trying to defend the inside of the corner. Oh, just gets closed from Chespo. Thought Chespo thought the move was done, but Clen was still hung his nose there. Benchard thought about it, but Clen defended.
And just see McKinnon up the ears of Ricciardo, doing the overtake into turn 1.
This is going to be brave. Oh, and that was bound to happen. They collided. Ricciardo Milos has lost out.
And always hanging on the 100 meter braking board.
Oh, nah.
But was this a smart move to stick the nose into turn 1? I don't know.
He was well enough side by side, to be fair. It's not like he was just on the outside. I think it just...
I would have trusted the driver in the dries, but in the wets you can really say everyone can miss the braking point because you're sliding just sideways.
Yeah, there's a time and a place, isn't there? Gunnar going deep at Brooklands, lost out a couple of places to Kessler and Dunsterino. Has got to keep an eye on Chespo.
Also, Terry's maybe having bad dreams about sea monsters looking at the Kraken back of the Williams. Benja is really clinging to P4 here for his dear life.
Gunnar loving that Cop's corner. Terry loves a bit of crack. And he's following Benja out through Chapel.
I think Terry needs a bit of crack in his engine to make the overtake finally.
Yeah, crack on Weetabix. Get him going.
Crack on Terry's.
Sedders and Benji's. There's more than one Benji apparently. That said is defending well, keeping that P2. As what's Redder McKinnon in the pits then. He's getting some fresh. Oh, he's been in the pit lane for Ricciardo Milos and he's retired. Well, thank you for retiring in the pits, but he probably was a bit frustrated after that collision.
Yes. And I think the Division 1 boys can maybe take a good example of him retiring in the pits.
Yes, I agree. Meagle in as well, getting some fresh inters on. So is this rain lasting quite a long time? There's one or two that I would think would probably think about pitting, like a Benja. 11 laps already on these tyres. And Danny Dine has retired in the pits as well, so probably not enjoying the wet weather. But thank you again for in the pits.
I mean, who's enjoying this? Let's be honest.
Well, I am, because it's mixed up the order a bit, and there's some drivers that like driving in the rain more than others, and those that Keezer Geezer is having a fine performance in the wet, and if he can keep this going in the dry, if it does get dry, then
you know what was really weird when I pitted for the hards and was drying? I was like, man, this is a complete different feeling, because it was so weird to drive after you were on the wets all the time, because the car was sliding and then suddenly, oh, it's so smooth. It was the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's having more confidence in the car and the tyres, isn't it? Redder McKinnon getting past nasty. Up to P14. Sygate putting on a big defence. Currently running P13, the McLaren.
Terry Sweat's shaking knees because he has Torpedo Dan Morris behind him.
And we're not calling him a pedo, we're calling him a torpedo.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. No name calling. Yeah, Dan Morris. Oh, it's so tight. Benja. He's definitely struggling on these tyres now. Just doesn't have the grip. Terry's on the inside. I think so. On the inside of Aintree. And Terry's... Oh, he collides. Both collide. And that gives Dan Morris the opportunity to go through up to P4.
And Kessler also says, thank you, Terry, for this gift. Terry's only in 11 months, but he takes this now. Terry's
tears strikes again, and he's down to P7. This is an absolute fab drive, to be fair, from Kessler. He is leading the way in the Challenger, and he's taking a look at Benja. Benja is really struggling now, both on a similar strategy, but looks like Kessler's looked after his tyres a little bit more than Benja. As they go through Mags and Beckett.
And the tyre offset is only one lap here.
Yeah, I think Benja's been pushing and he's been real hard on the defence. He's been the leader of the train for a long while. As we look behind, does Terry's have damage? He doesn't. As Chessbowl on the inside of Dustarino. Brave move from the Red Bull. And he makes that work. P8. Dustarino left in plenty of room. We got... I think that's Benja in the pits now, is it? Must be. It is. It's about time. I think he's very much not liking the current condition of his tyres.
And then Serenius fan club must not like...
Whoa!
What happened?
Coming round the final corner, Glenn Benchard and Gunnar, I think it was, all got locked together. Gunnar lost out, going down to P11. They just locked wheels by the looks of it, and could have been an absolute disaster zone.
When you say Benchot, I'm always thinking you've found a new nickname for Benji.
No, I meant Benjo.
So if your name is Ben, really join the league. We love it.
Yeah. And if you play the banjo, that'll be even better as well. Sygate defending here from Benjo, who's come out on those delicious slicks. And on the inside of Brooklyn, should have better traction under braking. And makes an easy move up to P13. But he probably stayed out longer on those tyres than he should have.
And both Red Bulls really in a good position to make strong points here this weekend.
Yeah, especially with Chessball missing the last couple of weeks, it'll be massive points.
And even I will put in some fantasy here. If something happens at the front and Kessler can keep within the 3 seconds of Dan Morris, he will look at his first podium for Lights Out League.
Oh, wow. He's doing a fab job. Well, even Sedders, who's under threat here from Benji, still pushing him around village.
Benji trying to force his way.
And he did. Elbows out. He's on the inside. And he's made it stick now. Finally got past Sedders. And up to P2.
And Sedders saying, not with me, let me take that back.
It's very tight. Slight collision. Sedders goes through. Tap of the wing.
Sedders saying, you pushed me, I will push you too.
It's like
and
drunk.
Benji once again has a crowd strike lasered into his eyes.
It's like drunk girls on a Saturday night in town. You bitch! Slapping each other. Sedders is back up to P2. Nagel going through on Thomas. As Sygate is in the pits on some fresh tyres. How long will this rain last?
Yeah, how long is this rain going to last?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It is approximate. I don't know.
Okay. You don't know anything. Okay.
No, I know nothing. Benchard gets him past Clen. Up to P9 now for the Mercedes. Chessbolt on Terry's. On the outside of Stowe, and that's a move and a half for Chessbolt. Slap Terry's like a salmon. On the outside of Stowe, brave. Terry's did leave him plenty of room, but was, I'd say, probably a bit too respectful on the defence. But Red Bull's now 5th and 6th.
And will we see some team orders here?
I think not with Kessler in that position. He's got Dunsterino just a couple of positions behind. Yeah, the rain is slowing down. Oh no, Keyser! That's not what you wanted, Keyser. That could cost you your first race win.
It must be this ominous 6 steps to the end where Keyser says, fuck it, I will just win the race.
Well, Sedders is
He's
saying...
not pinned it, but he maybe, if he was lucky, maybe he put in 2 wins now.
Sygate Italian hand gesture. Speeding in the pit lane. Many Italians. There's 1 or 2 driving in the pits going for those slick tyres now. Williams drivers. Benja, one of them. First one of the ones near the front to pull the trigger. Now, that his time is the one you need to keep an eye out on.
Do we have once again the problem with the Alpines?
We definitely will. Although Dan Morris is too far behind to make the move.
No, Benji dived into the pits, I think, no?
Oh yes, but Dan made that move beforehand.
Dan is following him in the pits. He will maybe have a bit lucky here and won't get held up too long.
No, he shouldn't. I think he's just like slowed himself down anyway. 3 seconds is plenty of time. But
Kessler or Chessball?
Kessler's carried on. Terry Reds has sped in the pit lane. Benchard has sped in the pit lane. Terry Reds has screwed himself over. His tears have dried up, so he's had to put on slicks, and he's screwed himself over. Regan McKinnon's carried on the inters, and Jeff has now told us DRS is now enabled.
Tyrese will bite his ass because last week he was also speeding not once but twice into the pits.
Well, yeah, at least he's improved week on week. So,
good job, Tyrese. You didn't repeat the same error.
No, he's just soggy underwear. Jeffrey in the pits on softs. And that'll be the call as well. Will drivers put mediums or softs on? I suppose anyone that pits from now will put softs on. But those softs will get chewed up in the space of 3 or 4 laps. There is 6 laps, including this one left. So at the moment, and Benji has jumped Sedders. So Benji has net lead of the race then, ahead of Kizagiza's penalty. Kiza will be fingers, toes, anything that's loose and dangly crossed to hope that Benji gets himself a penalty as well.
I will have a look how his changes are for this trap.
Glenn making the overtake up to P9 on Dunsterino. Medium tyres potentially, well, I think, were the way to go, just to solidify the finish on as premium tyres as possible.
Benji only has 1 warning to his name. So he really needs to hope that he runs wide twice in the dirty air. But was the softs even the right call, because the tires drop off here pretty quickly at Silverstone?
Yeah, will they drop off enough for him to lose time though? As Ben Shot's facing the other way. Coming round turn 2 and he's retired on track. You naughty boy. He's definitely going to get a reprimand for that at least. Thankfully it's just a yellow flag. Not what we want to see. So Kessler, as we mentioned, now down to P10 after the pit stops, which promotes Dunsterino to the lead of the Challenger Championship. He's done it again. How's he done that? He snuck his way in. And I tell you who'll make decent gains as well, Clem. Currently P7, no penalties. The 3 drivers ahead all do.
And the 3 drivers ahead don't have 2 small penalties, because we know Terry Schwett's batted to the pits and got 10 seconds.
Yeah, we've got to keep reminding him. Yeah, just keep reminding him, because he will forget. Terry's face will be red. Sedders all over the back of Benji. Sedders eyeing up this race win. Needs to hope that Benji makes a mistake. Under down gaming. I wonder if he has got downs. Wants to keep an eye on this front action. We'll keep nipping to and fro, and Nasty gets the fastest lap. He's going slightly wide at Cops. Putting him a bit under threat here from Benji and Sedders, and of course they're going to have DRS coming out of Chapel. Keys will need a big launch out of the end of this sector, and it looks like he's got a good enough gap ahead to keep that P1 position. Sygate in the pits again, serve that penalty.
I reckon Benji and Sedders' tires must be screaming within the next 2 laps.
Well, if that does, Keys will need a 3-second gap to shake off that penalty. Terry's closing in on Chessbowl, but it doesn't matter, he's got a 10-second penalty.
But this is for position. If he gets Chessbowl, he will stay ahead of him.
Yeah, because of the penalties. Did anyone remember that Terry's just got a 10-second penalty?
Why did he get a 10-second penalty?
Because he's Italian.
And Italian means here you're speeding into the pits.
Yes. Guna with DRS. Trying to hunt down Kessler. This is for position. Let's see the other flag. McLaren just letting through the lap cars.
And maybe one guy is sitting at home on his...
Oh! Benji's got a penalty. He's been put under pressure.
And he must collect it. His track limits really quick after another, because he was at 1 going 1 lap back. And he collected two within the last 2 laps.
He's been pushing hard, and he's pushed too hard, like a birthing mother, and he's found himself.
And who's still laughing third? It's Setters looking for his. Is this the first race win then?
It will be Setters' first race win, but he needs to stay within that 3 seconds. He's in and out of DRS at the moment. He's just on the edge of DRS of Benji on the penultimate lap.
And Kieser must be saying, Benji, please give me a 1 second gap and let me keep this win.
Well, this is for track position. Benji needs to overtake Kieser, and he's not having it his way at the moment.
But just Benji could help Kieser getting the win still.
Yeah, but why would he? He needs to overtake. If he overtakes him, he's got the race win.
But he's still second then, if he overtakes Kieser.
But he'll be third if he lets Kieser go. Because Setters will overtake him.
I think he has enough of a gap. He can be a bit Christian and...
No, he's going to try and win.
Let him go.
No, he's going to try and win. Jeffrey Nasty.
I think everyone would say, nah. I would just get a win.
Nasty up to P14 ahead of Thomas. Both debutants having a decent race on debut.
Kieser looking to drop Benji out of the DRS.
He's just doing it at the moment. Terry Red's still sticking with Chessbowl. Benji.
Must be a good sign that the softs are giving up now.
The softs are giving up.
On the last lap.
On the last lap.
Big enough. Whoa, I can't speak.
I know, he's so excited, and he's got Setters on the inside of Aintree on Benji. Benji going deep.
And Kieser must be laughing now because he may got himself a race.
Oh, locking wheels. And I reckon Benji was being naughty there. I think he was trying to do what you suggested of trying to hold up Setters for Kieser, because he went really slow in the space of a couple of corners, and I wouldn't say that was down to tyres, but we'll see. Kieser will be pushing hard.
Out 7/10 out of his lap.
He's pushing hard on this final lap. Will he have better traction going through Baggers and Beckett's? He's got to gain half a second in the final sector. Benji pushing on the back of Setters, putting pressure on the Mercedes.
Down to 4/10 now.
This is going to be to the wire. Can Kieser do it? I think Setters has probably got him onto the line. It's going to be tight. Benji will have DRS round Stowe. It's under 3/10 for Kieser. All he's got to do for himself is just push. Setters is pushing hard as well. Kieser will cross the line first. But will the penalty cost him? Setters crosses the line in second and takes the race win. Commiserations Kieser, but he'll take that P2. Benji Boy will cross the line P3. With Dan Morris coming home P4. Terry Reds has got a penalty, didn't you know? And that will drop in positions. Glenn will take P5 on his first outing on of the season. Regan McKinnon had that tussle earlier on. P6. Dunsterina P7 and P1 for Challenger Championship. Chessbowl down to P8 with his penalty. P9 for Terry's. Ooh. Kessler P10 and will take P2 in the Challenger, with Gooner taking P3 after his pole. Benja P12. Magel will cross the line in P13. Williams in situ. On the track, Jeffrey and Thomas. Oh, Jeffrey! Well, cross the line P14. Has a penalty, so Thomas will jump him for that 14th position. Danny, no podium for him this week. On to next week, though.
I'll tell you what. There must be a happy little boy sitting somewhere in England, bumping his fist, because I think Terry's didn't jump him in the standing, and this is Lennon.
Oh, yeah. He had to do nothing, and he benefited from doing nothing.
Because Terry's got a penalty for speeding at the pits.
Oh, Terry's done the pits? I didn't know. Congratulations to Setters. Gets his first win of the season. And thwarts off the challenge from Benji. And carries with a brilliant show. Did I see Terry's? Or Kieser? I can't remember.
You said both.
Keezer, not Terry's. Terry's got a penalty.
Teaser.
Fastest lap goes to Cygate. Oh, big up Cygate. Nicking that point off the front runners. So Sedders takes that race win. Brilliant job from the Mercedes. Kept it clean. Keezer, P2. Benji, P3. Dan Morris, P4. Great drive from him. And he's just said in chat. Glenn, up from the back of the grid, up to P5. Smashing job from the McLaren. Regan McKinnon, P6. Don Sereno, P1. In Challenger, P7. On track, Chessbowl P8, Terry's 9th because of that penalty, 10th for Kessler, Gunnar 11th, 12th for Benji, Magel 13th, 14th for Thomas and Jeffrey, 15th both, Davey 16th, Danny, 17th for Cygate, 129, 2 fastest lap, Mr. Bench, Danny Dine and Ricciardo all retiring on the track. Wow, what a race. Went to the wire. It was fun and... you know, it's especially found with the Div 2. It's so tight, so competitive, and
lots of stuff going on, especially in these weather conditions. Some people made the right calls at the right time, some people didn't, but still, overall, as you said, the grid was really tight. Lots of good battles on the track, and let's see if the win stands, because there was some going back and forth between Setters and Benji. Let's see if everything was kept clean here.
Well, yeah, you know, it's down to the stewards room really, and if anything happens there, that'll potentially have a say. But who knows? But it's been a fine week with these variable weather conditions. Tested all drivers from both divisions, and we'll be back again next week. I think we're at Jeddah. Is that correct?
We are right. It's Saudi Arabia.
Wow, fantastic. It's always another one that tests the skills of drivers. Those close, confined track limits. There are no track limits. If you try and go out the white lines, you're dead. So who can survive the tracks in Saudi Arabia? Join us next week, 7:30 UK for Div 1 and 9 PM UK for Div 2. My name is Alex. I'm joined by Jax. And thank you for joining me once again. It's been brilliant. This is Lights Out League Racing. Peace out.